Mahoney County Board of Elections will hold an adjourned regular meeting on Wednesday, December 7th, 2022, set to reconvene at 3:30/4 o'clock in the boardroom. Would the director call the roll, please?
Ms. Pesta.
Present.
Attorney Beatrice.
Present.
Ms. Barger.
Here.
Mr. Arndt.
Here.
Would the vice chair lead us in a pledge of allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a moment of silence for our nation, please? Yeah. The chair will now recognize a motion to approve the minutes of the November 28th, 2022 adjourned special regular board meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0. The chair will now recognize a motion to approve the bills of accounts and payments for November of 2022.
So moved. Second.
There is a motion made by Sandy Barger and a second by Joyce Kilpesta. Is there any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's 4-0 vote. I would like, the director now will explain the process and procedures of the Ohio Secretary of State required audit and recount of the November 8th, 2022 election.
Sure, the purpose of the meeting today, one of the main purposes is the recount for the Mahoney County Commissioners race, which is right now 137 votes difference. I think we have a good plan in place. Melissa did a great job of putting it on paper and organizing the staff on this one since I got a few days. Do you mind just
Discussing?
Yeah.
So, what they're gonna do is hand count first, and up to 5% of the total ballots cast. We have 6 teams, bipartisan teams. They'll be in 6 different locations throughout. And as they're counting the precincts, those precincts, then once they do their count, will go to the tabulation room. We will allow observers. Each candidate can have an observer at each station, which is 6. If you're going to stay to observe after the meeting, wait, and I'll give you the guidelines for that. So, that pretty much sums that up.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? When you're tabulating the hand count, make sure the hand tape matches the ballots, right?
Correct.
Is
And-
that going to take till 3 or 4 o'clock?
Well, we're gonna have to rescan all 90,000 ballots.
Okay.
Rescan all.
You're gonna scan all the
90,000
ballots then,
Rescan
okay.
everything today.
Okay, all right.
Let me ask a question on that. Because we had a problem with the absentees, are we gonna have a problem again doing that, or is there a way we could solve
We
it?
don't think so. I think we've solved it.
We solved it.
And they're running pretty good right now.
So we don't have all of the different batches that we're gonna have to.
So Tom, were we thinking that we wanted the meeting to be 4:30 this afternoon?
It might
Because
help us
Before 30?
to rescan 90,000 ballots every precinct.
we don't want
out,
anybody
every
waiting if
absentee.
we're not done, and we don't want to rush the process.
So the observers can watch the hand count and they can watch the scan of the,
Correct.
okay. So if you think it's going to take till 4:30, then we should reconvene at 4:30.
We'll reconvene at 4:30 then. Well, at this point,
And this constitutes the audit also, for the
Correct.
Secretary of State. So it's the recount and audit all at once.
thank you, Chairman, that was the next thing on the agenda.
What was it? I didn't read it. Sorry, I didn't put my glasses on. I just know that. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
So, go ahead, Joyce, you might as well tell them.
No.
I don't know why I'm here. All right, I would direct the staff to perform the general election and audit required by the recount. I guess we could start that now.
Well, we're gonna wait until we're done in here so that the observers go at the same time and we can give everybody their instruction.
That's fine.
And the staff is ready.
Chairman's
That's right.
report. Please tell me all of the, well, I know you guys have been busy, so I can't beat you up too much. But I want to start going out to these different organizations. I want letters to the schools.
So Annie cold called about 15 different organizations, and she got a couple calls back. We have some things starting back up in February.
Okay, do we have a letter that can go out to them?
No, not as of today.
Well, you've been very busy.
I've been kind of busy.
I know you've been
Things are
busy,
weird.
but we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yes.
So I'd like letters to go out, and even to the school, to the high schools, even to the college, to the political science departments, to the sociology departments, to anywhere that'll allow us to go out and explain how the voting process is conducted. I think it's an obligation on this board to educate the public on that. Because no one knows it until they either run for office and they come in and they go, I didn't know there was this much involved in it. I think the public should know everything we do.
Can you use your phrase, please?
What?
We love
Fair and
our
free.
phrase.
No, the highways and byways.
I want to go out to the highways and byways. I mean, we can go to the Farm Bureau, we can go to all those places. I'll go anywhere to explain this. Director's report.
We spent the last week and a half since our last meeting was preparing for this recount. It's been a long year with 3 full elections, and I think we're ready to start work on 2023 at some point.
I want to wish, on behalf of the board, the best for you, Tom. We heard you're a little under the weather. And we got a little scare, you threw a little scaring to us, but I hope you're feeling better now.
We'll report back in January, and we'll know what the doctors say.
Is there any unfinished business? Any new business? I just wanted to say, you're unfinished or new business. Annie, I am going to the conference. They always ask me like 3 times, you going? Yeah. Dave, you sure you're going? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're booked and you're ready.
I'm booked and I'm ready, good.
At the conference, they're doing a new House bill. They're actually rolling 297 into 424, I think it is. But it's going to be a lot of changes for elections. They're going to, the drop box is going to be one drop box,
That's all we have now.
but it's only going to be available to the public during Board of Election hours. We're going to have to lock it. They want video surveillance of it.
We already have that.
We do have that.
We don't make that open to the public, the video surveillance. Now we have to make it open to the public. If the public requests it, we have to provide it completely. So I think we should do that on our website. But it's going to be a lot of changes. As the Secretary of State knows, there's a lot of changes in this bill. And I think we have to be prepared for next year. And it's a good thing it's an off year because it'll give you time to make all these changes that you're going to have to make.
All right. Are there
That sounds fun.
any public
Well,
comment?
wait a minute, we have new business here.
Go ahead.
We do have two things. We wanted to approve, I think you have it in front of you, they have a copywriting in for Tom's vacation.
I only made one, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can go
Just
make
to
more.
approve vacation cash out for Tom.
So moved.
Wait a minute, where is that?
It's right here, you wanna read it?
I didn't see it.
You know, per our personnel.
Yeah. So you don't accumulate it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then the second
That happens.
new business is that we were asking to make a special consideration for our staff to keep their personal time. Usually per county policy, they have to usually lose it by December 31st. Obviously, they could not use it. We would like you to make a special motion to allow them to roll it over into the next year.
It's the 3 personal days, and most of our staff hasn't used it yet.
We'd have to give back 113 hours. I mean, they've been working back to back for about 6 months.
Well, we had 3 elections this year.
Yes.
So, I don't think that's their fault that we've pressed them into service. So let's take these separately. I'll entertain a motion for the Mahoney County Board of Election approve the director, Tom McCabe, be paid for 250 hours of vacation accrual or the maximum hours allowed per county and the Mahoney County Board of Elections policy, effective immediately. Is there a motion?
So moved. Merry Christmas.
Is there a motion?
And I'll second.
There's a motion, a second, any discussion? I think this is well-deserved. The director and deputy director can't even use their vacation time because this job is so pressing. So for them not to be, for them to be punished for not taking what they deserve is not gonna help us attract the best, or it's not gonna get the best out of it, so I'm completely in favor of it. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's a 4-0 vote.
We have to call roll.
I don't think so. If we all go aye, we'll just say,
Okay.
If you want me to call the roll, I'll call it.
No, I'm just,
No, I mean, we could do it, I'm just, okay, Director, call the roll.
Ms. Testa?
Yes.
Attorney Peaches?
Yes.
Ms. Barger?
yes.
Ms. Orange?
Okay. Now I'll entertain a motion that the staff be allowed to accrue their 3 personal days.
So moved.
There is a motion by Joyce Kilpesta, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, is there any discussion?
I'm sorry, Chairman, did you say accrued? Or did you say rollover?
Is there a difference?
Yeah. You
I
want it to roll
I
over
want it to roll
next year.
over, okay, roll over to next year.
So moved.
Sandra, is there
I'll
a
second, yeah.
Is there any discussion? Once again, I think we've pressed our staff into a lot of extra hours because of everything that got screwed up and the extra primary and all the confusion, and so, once again, I don't think they should be punished, because we needed them here those extra days, and so I think it's only deserving that they be allowed to roll it over. Is there any more discussions? Would the director call the roll, please?
Ms. Testa?
Yes.
Attorney
Yes.
Peaches? Ms. Barger?
Yes.
Ms. Orange?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else on the new business? All right, is there anything for the good of the order or public comments?
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead. You stand up, state your name and address, and you can address the board.
Yeah, I'm Gino DeFabio. I live at 970 East Philadelphia, Youngstown, Ohio. There's a lot of talk about educating the public how these elections work and how the board runs. I want to give a little bit of insight into how, as a candidate, what happens. When you run against an incumbent who's been there for 50 years, you're up against the power of the incumbency. You're up against you could be up against the office holders that rely on her or on that person for their budgets. And you're also, there's also intimidation. If you would support one of your friends off county time, they could remove you. That's exactly what happened. Last Monday's meeting, the 28th, a friend of mine who was off work came down to support me. He was approached by my opponent and said, "You look familiar." Oh my, that's interesting, wow. And then on Friday, he was fired. The man needed the insurance. He did an exemplary job. If anybody would want to go and ask anybody at the courthouse the job he did for this county and for the taxpayers that this county belongs to, you ask anybody, what kind of job? That's what you face when you face an incumbent who's ruthless and who will do anything to stay in power. And that's what I wanted to change. I want to work for everybody, and I want this county, we're representatives, we're elected to be representatives. We're not there to wield our power. Just because we can do something doesn't make it right. And I just want everybody to know that. That's what you face when you face an incumbent in a county like Mahoney. And I heard over and over again, well, that's just Mahoney County politics. Well, that needs to change for the good of all the residents of this county. And until that happens, we won't move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other thing for the good of the order, other public comments? Hearing none, we will stand in recess until we re-adjourn at 4:30. Correct? Anything else? Joyce, did I do everything right? Sandra, did I do everything right? Yeah.
Before you hit that, before everyone leaves, I just want to tell them not to. If you're gonna stay to observe, please stay in this room because you'll have to go to a specific station and you have to get some guidance. I don't want you to just go out, we gotta be organized. So if you're gonna observe or stay here so I can give you the guidance.
See everyone at 4:30. Convene the meeting that we adjourned earlier. I will now ask if the first part of our process is complete.
It is, David. We hand counted 8% of the ballots, required 5, but because we pulled by polling location, it came to 8%. 20 precincts, the hand count came out identical to the machine count.
So the hand count of 8% of the precincts was identical to the scan, and now my understanding is we move on to the second process,
Correct.
which is we rescan every ballot.
That's correct.
And when do we think that would be completed by?
Well, we can start first thing in the morning, Thursday, Friday, I think Monday, and we should be done in probably 3 days.
We have to report by Tuesday, right?
Correct. We could get an extension, but I think we can be done by,
Tuesday
we're
morning.
gonna have to be, yeah. So if we have to come weekend, we'll come weekend.
I prefer we come the weekend, making sure we're done. If we have to pay extra, we'll pay extra.
Well, can I say something? The staff has worked every weekend getting ready. If we can do it on Monday, Thursday and Friday and Monday, I think.
So let's see when we get by Friday.
Okay,
I'm free
see,
this
that's a good
weekend.
idea.
I can get
So
Dan-
we're gonna reconvene when then? Tuesday,
Tuesday
the
morning?
13th?
Tuesday morning, I would think.
9 a.m.?
9 a.m. is good.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't have to work the weekend, that would be good. Or you can do 2 shifts, I mean, you can do different shifts too.
We'll get,
We think we can get it done by Tuesday?
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to watch the scanning, they
we'll
can.
be open for that, so I'll let Carol and Gino and their people know if we come the weekend, we'll notify them that we'll be here this weekend.
All right.
And that would be one part.
Yeah, because it's one county.
All right, we're gonna adjourn this meeting to be reconvened Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved by Sandra Barger, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Bob. Would the director call the roll, please?
Ms. Pesta?
Yes.
Attorney Beatrice?
Yes.
Ms. Barger?
Yes.
Mr. Orange?
We will reconvene Tuesday morning.
What time?
9 o'clock.